It say in Hebrews chapter 2, it say, we must pay more careful attention, therefore, to what we have heard, so that we do not drift away. For if the message spoken by angels was binding, and every violation and disobedience received its just punishment, how shall we escape if we ignore such a great salvation? How shall we escape if we ignore such a great salvation? First of all, escape what? Judgment. Of course, that's when we give account for everything we've done in our life. The Apostle Paul is asking, how shall we escape judgment and our deserved punishment for our lives if we ignore such a great salvation that he's given us, that he's presented to us? And the part that gave me, he said, such a great salvation. He letting us know that this salvation that God offers us in Jesus, it's unique, it's different, it's special. All right, Marcus, so what is this salvation? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad I asked. If we continue reading, Paul goes on to explain this salvation. And the first thing he said was, he said, this salvation, which was first announced by the Lord. And I think Jesus in John 7, I think he summed up this salvation which he was announcing. John 7:37, it say, on the last and greatest day of the feast, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, he about to announce his salvation. If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scriptures has said, streams of living water will flow from within him. That's it right there. Jesus just gave the gospel. He announced it first. This is the salvation that's offered. The next thing he said was, he said this salvation that was confirmed to us by those who heard him. Yeah, and reading that, I can't help but think about the woman at the well. If you ask her, she'll testify. She'll preach who she found out Jesus to be. Ask the Pharisees and the people that heard him how he spoke. Ask the Roman guards that, I forgot where it was at, but they couldn't even arrest Jesus. They didn't even arrest Jesus because of the way he spoke. They said he's speaking with authority. And continuing, he said this salvation that I'm talking about, he said, verse 4 say, God also testified to it by signs, wonders, and various miracles. It said by signs, wonders, and various miracles. And I think about the life of Jesus and how from birth to his life to his death, it was filled with signs, wonders, and various miracles. In his birth, he was immaculately born of the Holy Spirit. He didn't have a physical earthly father seed. His life, walking on water, healing the blind man, healing the mute man, casting out demons, healing the man who friends him down through the roof, telling people that can't walk to get up and walk, take up their mat and walk. People getting healed from touching his clothes. And then in his death, he resurrected. He resurrected from the dead. He defeated death, which was testified to by over 500 witnesses. And also in his death, he gave power to the church, because in his death, because after his death, the Holy Spirit came. But it don't stop there. Look at the end of verse 4. Talking about this salvation that's been announced, it said, which God testified to by signs, wonders, and various miracles. And check this out. It says, and gifts of the Holy Spirit distributed according to his will. It's talking about gifts of the Holy Spirit distributed to us, his church. You know what makes me feel good is knowing that even this gift that God has given me to do these videos, this exists because Jesus opened my eyes. God had mercy on me and saved my life from the pit. He searched for me, saved me, and changed my life. This gift, this ministry testifies to the power of the salvation that is found in Jesus. Yo, in conclusion, Hebrews 12:25, it say, see to it that you do not refuse him who speaks. Talking about Jesus. And here's his reasoning. He said, if they did not escape when they refused him who warned them on earth, talking about like the prophets and stuff that warned the children of Israel on earth. He said if they didn't escape when they was warned by them, how much less will we escape if we turn away from him who warns us from heaven? Because that's where Jesus was sent from. Listen, don't just ignore Jesus. Don't just ignore God's call. Look, you can be a part of salvation. Peace.